It was the tail end of the First World War in a remote and a rural part of India. My great-grandfather, who was a marginal farmer, had just passed away, leaving my great-grandmother a young widow with 2 sons and no source of income. To provide for her sons and their future, she had to move to a town nearby and make some difficult choices. She became a domestic servant, but still could only afford to send one of her sons to school. While the 2 boys were close in age, both in grade school, one was seen as being more responsible, while the other was a bit of a troublemaker. My great-grandmother opted to send the more responsible, diligent son, viewed as having more potential, into the workforce. He became a day laborer at a construction site. He would continue in that field for the rest of his life, never given the opportunity to gain new skills and gain higher level employment. The other son was sent to the local school, and that boy was my grandfather. Despite being seen as being less responsible, he continued through school and eventually became a police officer. Despite entering the workforce nearly a decade after his brother, his starting salary was exponentially higher. It was my grandfather's education and the eventual career that enabled my father to pursue his own education, which eventually allowed me to follow my own passions. The opportunity my grandfather was given impacted the trajectories of the generations to come. This personal story reflects that often repeated adage, talent is everywhere, but opportunity is not. Today's event is about education and technology. More specifically, it is about empowering the students of today to create the world of tomorrow. We live in an amazing time of technological progress. Every aspect of our lives, economies, and societies are being shaped by digital technologies. However, technology is also creating disruption. There's a growing concern over job growth, economic opportunity, and the world we are building for the next generation. The real question is, how can technology create more opportunity, not for a few, but for all? Addressing that question is core to our mission to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. This is not just a set of words for us, but something we care deeply about. Our success is measured by others' success. Democratizing educational opportunity speaks directly to our mission. And it's one of the most pressing societal challenges. Technology can amplify the work of dedicated people and institutions, but rarely can substitute for it. Kentaro Toyama, a former researcher at Microsoft and the author of the book Geek Heresy, captures it best when he says that societal change requires more than just technology. Technocrats, as Toyama refers to them, have a tendency to extol the virtues of technology and view it as a remedy to all that ails the system. I'm here today as a heretic. We are under no illusion that technology alone is the answer to transforming education. Dedicated administrators, great teachers, motivated students, and involved parents and communities are the ones changing education. And technology is merely a tool to empower their creativity and their ingenuity. It is this opportunity that motivates our work in education and everything you'll see today. One of my favorite parts of the job is to be able to see and learn from the students all around the world. Over the past 2 years, I've had a chance to visit students from 20+ countries, to see students in Jakarta and Tel Aviv use the same office tools that my daughters use in Seattle, how teachers in Tokyo and Madrid are using Minecraft to teach students computational thinking, how a group of young female students in Cairo were inspired to learn to code and built an app to assist the Syrian refugees in their own community. I've been struck by the commonalities amongst the students, their ingenuity, their thirst for learning, diversity and dreams for future. As I've spent time visiting these classrooms, a few things stick out to me each time. First, technology should help, not hinder teachers' work in the classroom. Teachers have constant demands on their time. They must create curriculum, grade tests and papers, manage classrooms, discipline, educate, and inspire. Each time I leave a classroom, the job of a teacher makes my job look easy in comparison. Technology should make teachers' lives simpler and spark students' creativity, not distract from it. This is a top priority that we are focused on at Microsoft. Today, you'll see how we're delivering an accessible, streamlined platform readily available to all classrooms. So teachers spend less time focused on technology and more time doing what they love doing, inspiring students. Secondly, the nature of work is changing drastically. Much of work today happens in teams within groups of people working together to solve a problem, where the sum becomes greater than the parts. We need to prepare our students for this future and enable team-based learning experiences in the classroom. Amongst groups of students, between students and teachers, between teachers and parents, what you will see today is how any classroom can promote learning through collaboration, hubs for teamwork, personalized learning tools, and the ability to co-create. By empowering students to learn together, their educational opportunities get better. Third, we must prepare our students for tomorrow. Consider the report from the World Economic Forums and their jobs report. An estimated 65% of the students entering school today will have jobs that do not yet exist. Teachers know this, and they are hungry to equip their students for this future. They know that computational thinking and problem-solving skills are key to the future. But they also know that they need to take a much broader view of STEM by bringing STEM curriculum alongside reading, writing, design, and art will set these students up for success in the future. Throughout today's presentation, we will show you new technologies designed to address these needs. And most importantly, how technology can empower students and teachers to enhance learning outcomes and create a world of tomorrow. Lastly, democratizing educational opportunity must be inclusive of everyone, not just a select few. To me, this is something that's deeply personal. This includes students with disabilities and different learning styles. They must be given an opportunity to pursue their own dreams. Dyslexia is estimated to impact 1 in 5 people. 72% of the classrooms have students with special learning needs. Reading is an essential competency. And once a student falls far behind, it's difficult to catch up. And it's just not about reading. You fall behind in every other subject area. This is something that we aim to address with the OneNote learning tools, designed specifically to help students with dyslexia. But it can help students everywhere with their reading and writing skills. It's been incredible to hear the feedback from the teachers using this to teach emerging first-grade readers, or from parents who have exhausted their options, seeking help for their dyslexic children learning to read. Or how a teacher in Macedonia used the learning tools to teach young students English. We will take a look at how these learning tools and much more as Terry Myerson joins me today to share more of the news. To close, I want everyone to imagine the world we're building for tomorrow. Just as my grandfather's opportunity changed the trajectory of our family, this is what inspires me. How can we collectively come together to democratize the educational opportunity for every student, both for this generation and the generations to come? Thank you all very, very much.
The true purpose of education is to create possibility.
Gone are the days where the teacher can stand up in front of the classroom and teach to the mythical middle.
When you have learners who might not be reading at grade level, technology plays a very pivotal role in the classroom.
A lot of my students have struggled for a long, long time.
It was a little hard for me. People laugh whenever I read sometimes.
I'll be nervous when I have to read out loud.
Well, they knew how to read, and I didn't.
Learning tools not only reads to them, but gives them a better ability to pick up the words on the page.
It highlights the words to know where I am. When it's reading, I see spaces between the words, and it's easy to focus on.
It helps me figure out big words. With learning tools, they have the aha moment, the light bulb goes off, they feel empowered.
The first time I actually could read that book, I was proud of myself. I was very proud of myself.
I want our students to experience success. And so if we can accelerate that, if we can bring them up to speed, that's what I want for them.
When technology and education come together, possibility becomes reality.
I want to read every book in here.
Those kids just inspire me, and their smiles remind me why we create what we do. The gift of technology is that it can make life easier, but the power of technology is how it can just awaken this human potential. And the biggest, raw, untapped creative potential resides in our schools. The makers of tomorrow are sitting in the classrooms today. This is the next generation of creators who've embraced technology as their first language. The generation of problem solvers who naturally learn by creating, collaborating, and communicating with people all over the world. The generation of inventors who create with touch, command with their voice, and conceptualize in 3D. Our team just loves creating a medium that empowers other people to create, that ignites this creative impulse all around the world, that turns creativity into this force for positive change. And our mission with Windows is to create this platform that inspires this creativity in each of us. And we're so gratified that Windows 10 has been the global leader for devices chosen for K-12 education, with twice as many Windows devices shipped in 2016 as any alternative. Teachers today are choosing Windows for the rich creativity-inspiring applications like Autodesk Sketchbook, Adobe Photoshop, Minecraft, and the rich Office 365 desktop applications, which do so much more than the mobile apps available on other platforms. Teachers also choose Windows for all the things they can plug into Windows, including these amazing new STEM lesson plans with Legos and Arduino boards, tools that enable accessibility for every student, virtual reality headsets, interactive whiteboards, and more. But to understand how we could do more, our teams have traveled the world. We have talked to teachers on the front line, school principals and superintendents, but most importantly, the creators in the classroom. Because a complete solution for education must scale from classmate to classroom, from school-wide to district-wide, from system-wide to worldwide. The teachers were consistent. Young kids, sometimes they get distracted and don't always follow direction. They asked for Windows to be more resilient to literally hundreds of kids interacting with each device during the school year, maintaining the same great battery life, fast login time, and overall performance on the first day of school as the last. Ricardo Garmendia from the Renton School District told us how he manages or supports 850 classrooms with 11,000 Windows devices in his school district. And he was overwhelmed with the ongoing setup of new devices each summer and the management of the current devices in the classroom all school year. So to give students, teachers, and administrators like Ricardo what they need, we're taking a new approach. Simplify to magnify. Writers and storytellers cut for pacing. In music, you distill down to a single hook that can become the song of the summer. In sculpture, you chip away all the stone that doesn't look like David. In software, we code for elegance because simplicity is power. Well, I'm proud today to introduce you to Windows 10S. It is streamlined for simplicity. It is secure, and it runs with superior performance. But I personally like to think of it as Windows 10S, the soul of today's Windows. We've taken everything that teachers need and millions of people love about Windows 10 and created a new Windows experience that's ideal for all of our creative endeavors inside and out of the classroom. Let me show you Windows 10S. So here I am running Windows 10S on a Surface Book. Windows 10S runs on the full range of Windows 10 hardware, like this powerful Surface Book, but also the entry spec devices that we find in classrooms all over the world. Now, the first thing you'll notice about Windows 10S is a new default desktop image. Just like we've streamlined Windows 10 to create Windows 10S, the default desktop image on Windows 10S has been streamlined and still beautiful. Now, everything that runs on Windows 10S is downloaded from the Windows Store, which means first, it's verified for security and performance, but then when it's downloaded to the device, it runs in this safe container to ensure that the execution of the application doesn't impact the overall performance of the rest of the system, allowing the performance of the device to be the same on day 1 as day 1000 in use of the device. Now, there's many applications within the Windows Store, but it's pretty exciting to announce today that the Office suite, the full desktop applications, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and more, will be coming soon to the Windows Store. Now, I mentioned also that Windows is being chosen today for the peripherals, the things that teachers are plugging or students are plugging into Windows. Well, the full Windows peripheral ecosystem is available on Windows 10S. We're seeing incredible mixed reality headsets being created by our partners. So excited to see the classroom lesson plans that are being created to go with this like Acer virtual reality headset here with this Surface Book. But some of the most exciting stuff we're seeing plugged into Windows are these new lessons for STEM education. And so today, what we've done here is I've downloaded from the store Obot, which is this Arduino-based robot. You can see here what a student has done is programmed from scratch, visually programmed to scratch, this lesson plan.
Hello humans. I'm Obot. Who is programming me today? Nice to meet you, Terry. I love working with kids to teach them how to code. I'm already being used in over 1,000 schools around the world today. I've gotta say, Windows 10s looks pretty impressive so far. What else have you got to show us, Terry?
So, I think down in the showcase, you'll see many more. There's just so many cool things that are being plugged into Windows 10 or Windows 10s soon to enable these great STEM lesson plans. Now, I've talked about how we've been listening to teachers and students to inspire Windows 10s, but we've also been doing the same with Microsoft Edge. Now, Windows 10s will run any web browser in the Windows Store, but with Microsoft Edge, it's been inspired by teachers and students as well. So when recently we announced the ability to set aside tabs, what we were really doing at that time was thinking about how a student doing a research project would collect, here's the tabs of the research I'm doing on the solar system. Here's the tabs related to the research I'm doing on the Amazon rainforest. Here's the tabs associated with my science research. When we add annotation to Edge, we're thinking about a scenario of a student doing his research, highlighting a section of a web page, circling a section that they really enjoy, and then sharing it with other teachers or students in the classroom that are doing their collaborative work for. So Microsoft Edge is increasingly more focused on being delightful for these teachers and students in the classroom. Now, I mentioned every application that runs on Windows 10s gets downloaded from the store. So what happens when a student tries to download something not from the store? So here we've created this fictitious website, Crazy Picture Editor, and I will try and download something and run it. When you do, Windows 10s pops up this helpful dialog, letting you know the application you just tried to run has not been verified for security and safety by Microsoft. What it does, though, is offer you applications in the store that do similar things. So here it's recommending, instead of Crazy Picture Editor, Adobe Photoshop. Now, if a teacher or administrator really wants to run that application from the store at any time, they can go to that Windows Store and switch the device from Windows 10s to Windows 10 Pro, which would allow them to install that application. Now, I mentioned maintaining consistent performance is so important in the classroom. The one scenario that's particularly important in the classroom is the first login of a student. In classrooms, we see these carts of 30 or more devices, and students are coming in and out of the classroom, they pick up a random device, and all the time, it'll be the first time they log in. And so we've been focused on that with Windows 10s. So here I have two devices, a Windows 10 Pro device, loaded up with several applications that are commonly found in the classroom. We have Google Chrome installed, Adobe Reader installed, McAfee Antivirus installed, and that's it. And over here we have comparable applications running on Windows 10s. And so I'm going to be a student logging into this device for the very first time. And you'll see that the Windows 10s device is going to log in for the very first time for this student in less than 15 seconds. This 10 Pro device will take 30, 40 seconds to log in. More applications would have it take even longer to log in. And so what this means in the classroom is the teacher can start teaching quicker. Doesn't have to keep the students focused waiting for a device to log in. So this first login performance is fantastic. Now, if the student has been on this device before, every login after the first one on Windows 10s will be less than 5 seconds. So it's just great performance on that first login. Now, going back to the scenario Ricardo talked about, setting up new devices. This is a scenario many teachers think about during the summer, or school districts are getting new devices all the time. So what we've done is we've created a new application called Set Up My School PCs. And what happens is a teacher or administrator goes into a wizard. They set up the Wi-Fi network for their school. Say, these are going to go for my math cart. Maybe set up a new desktop image with a school logo. Specify I'm setting up whether a single student device or a shared cart or a lab. Specify what applications they want on the device. Here we're recommending Office or Minecraft, but they're not there by default. A school chooses what they want. But at the end of this process, what gets created is a USB key. And then what the teacher or administrator does is they collect all of their classroom PCs. This is literally what we see happen in the classroom. And they'll take a PC in any state. This particular one is just out of the box. You plug in the USB key. It's detected by Windows. And in less than 30 seconds, I'll be able to pull this USB key out of the device and move on to the next one. This system is configured completely per the spec that I put together through this wizard. There's a school in Colorado a couple weeks ago decided to move to Windows 10 from Chromebooks. And using the Set Up My PC app, they set up 600 PCs using 30 USB sticks in one day. So it's a pretty incredible process to set up and configure a set of devices exactly how the teachers would like them to be. Now, the last step in our solution here is Intune for Education. I mentioned how Ricardo has got 11,000 PCs in his school district. So what we've done is we've taken our enterprise systems management software and we've customized it for schools. Intune now knows about carts in classrooms and knows about teachers versus students. And what an administrator can now do, you can see this is Intune for Education configured for 2 high schools, Contoso and Fabricam. The students, teachers and students in each. And an administrator during the school year can go in and say, oh, in this classroom, the students at this high school, for example, let's turn off the camera in that classroom. So all of the attributes of the devices that are in the school district, if they're connected to the Intune for Education, that can now be centrally managed with all the power of this rich enterprise management software we've had for years, now customized for schools. So that's Windows 10 S. It's inspired by students and teachers. It runs full, rich applications that are secure and verified by Microsoft. It's easy to set up and manage, and it will have the same performance on the first day of school as the last. It really is the soul of today's Windows. Now, the world benefits when all students all over the planet have access to this latest technology. Windows achieves this scale through our partners, both our OEMs and software developers globally. And our goal with Windows 10 S is to develop the same vibrant, partner-centric ecosystem we have today. Our partners, including Acer, Asus, Dell, Fujitsu, HP, Samsung, and Toshiba, offer a range of new Windows 10 PCs for education today, starting at only $189. These partners will offer these devices and new, beautiful premium devices with Windows 10 S in the coming months. But I'm excited to announce more. All of these new education devices will now come with a free 1-year subscription to Minecraft Education Edition. And we are making Windows 10 S free for all schools on any of their current Windows Pro PCs. And that Office 365 for Education is also free for teachers and students worldwide. And today, Microsoft Intune for Education becomes broadly available for administrators worldwide. So Windows 10 S devices, Office 365, and Minecraft, this is our complete solution for education. And all of it will be available this summer, ready for the new school year. So on top of Windows 10 S, now we want to show you some incredible education experiences. First, we have created a natural way to foster collaboration and encourage creativity in every classroom of every school with Microsoft Teams and Office 365. Then we have Minecraft. What continues to amaze me about Minecraft is that this is a video game that has become such an important learning tool to teach teamwork, logical thinking, and problem solving. And then we have to take a look at mixed reality and how it's just this magical teaching and learning environment. Over the past 5 years, I've been fortunate enough to experience battling aliens, fixing a Japan Airlines jet engine, and even walking on Mars with NASA. But when I see how it is bringing a whole new dimension to teaching and learning, it really makes me think how awesome it would be to be a student again. So let's start with Microsoft Teams. Please welcome Catherine.
Good morning, everybody. As Satya shared, we believe that education unlocks potential and that technology can empower teachers and students to create the world of tomorrow. With over 100 million active users, Office 365 empowers individuals, teams, and organizations to communicate and collaborate every day. And Office 365 for Education builds on this rich foundation to offer the broadest and deepest toolkit for content creation, personalized learning, and modern classroom collaboration. So, to share some ways that Office 365 is used in today's classroom, it's my privilege to welcome Anthony Newbold, the principal at Bear Creek Middle School in Fairburn, Georgia.
Thank you, Catherine.
Absolutely.
Good morning. 18 years ago, I started my education career right across the river in Paterson, New Jersey. And in that time, I've served as a teacher and an administrator. And over the years, I've watched as education has matured and grown in amazing ways. Now, teachers are instrumental in any classroom with technology. They can engage and improve their students' learning experiences.
Now, Anthony, I've had the opportunity to hear how you use Office 365 at Bear Creek. Can you give some examples?
Absolutely. Now, as you all saw in the video, we use learning tools at Bear Creek. And it's impressive to see how many students are taking more academic risks now that they're feeling more comfortable with reading. Students also improve their writing skills by using tools such as Editor and Researcher in Word. And as usual, PowerPoint is a pretty popular presentation tool. Now, we also use OneNote Class Notebook as a digital binder in the classroom. Our art teacher, Mr. Smith, has students capture their artwork, and now they have a digital portfolio. Ms. Thompson, one of our history teachers, you saw her in the video, she encourages her students to share their digital class notes with their peers. And Dr. Pruitt, a physical science teacher, encourages her students to review their Cornell notes right before any exam. So we're seeing some great results already with Office 365, and I can't wait to see how some of the technology we're going to hear about today is going to impact student achievement.
That sounds great. I loved hearing the stories of how you use Office 365 in your classrooms at Bear Creek. But are you ready for what's next?
Let's do it.
All right. So in March, we launched Microsoft Teams, a chat-based workspace, as the newest addition to Office 365. And today, I'm proud to announce new classroom experiences as part of Microsoft Teams. These new features will make it the digital hub for teachers and students. Teams will help teachers with their daily activities and will help students prepare for the future. So let's take a look. On the left, this is Microsoft Teams. On the left, you'll see all the classes that a teacher is responsible for and project groups that they assign to their students. In addition, all of these are set up automatically at the start of a school year, including the student roster, and always kept up to date. And teachers can communicate with their students and collaborate, but they can also collaborate with their peers. Down below, you see that Bear Creek Middle School staff section right there. Up at the top, you'll notice the tabs. This provides easy access to information that teachers and students need, like files, the OneNote Class Notebook, assignments, quizzes, and more. And teachers can customize these tabs for their class or a project group, making sure the students have what they need anywhere, anytime. And the magic happens in the conversation, and that's in the center. This provides a persistent, rich interaction between the teacher and the students, so they can learn, they can read, they can interact real time in the classroom or at home when they're studying for that last-minute test. And what's great is if a student misses a few days or joins mid-semester, they have all the recorded conversation and content that they need to have context. So Anthony, you've had some opportunity to get a sneak peek on Teams. Can you talk a bit about how you see using it in your classrooms?
Absolutely. So there are so many learning resources beyond the four walls of your typical classroom, but because of cost and time, we can't always bring them into the classroom. It's easy with Microsoft Teams to connect to more of those external learning resources. So, for example, I can introduce a new unit to my world history class by bringing in an anthropologist into the classroom with a video call. This enables students to interact with a professional and seek the information that matters most to them. But the real beauty of this is now students can question and engage each other versus just simply reading it out of a textbook or online from an article. Engaging students in the class discussion is a challenge. Now, some students are going to be shy. Others may be what we call overly spirited, if you will. The students will love this tool. So I have a 13-year-old daughter, and I watch her text, and I know how she uses emojis. So now the students can bring in emojis, stickers, and GIFs. And as a result, we can get more students involved, as you see here in the conversation tab. Now, in this particular tab, I'm happy to see that all of the students use proper chat etiquette, but if they didn't, it's okay. I'll use that as what we refer to as a teachable moment. And I have complete control. I can delete a message, I can mute a student or the entire class if need be. And in this conversation, you'll see Polly. Now, Polly is this pretty cool polling bot, so I can create a poll, and now I can facilitate student engagement in exciting new ways. Teachers can tailor their class experience and add some interesting apps from Microsoft and some of our favorite EDU apps. And that provides fun, dynamic, and informative tools for teachers and students. Now, every student has choice and voice on how they choose to engage in the classroom. If you talk to any teacher, they'll tell you that once they grab a student's attention, the lessons and the content come alive and ignite deeper learning. Now, as educators, we must focus on preparing our students for their future. And to that end, collaboration and communication are key. Now, on top of learning the new material, developing and honing those collaboration skills is something that we can model in our assignments. As a part of this class, I've broken them up into various groups to work on a project. So let's take a look and see how they're doing. So I see here that this particular group has already started on some different aspects of the project. They seem to have some questions here, so let's go in and take a look at their document to see how they're coming along. So it appears here that I have a couple of students who are already working on this right now. You can see it in real time. The students can also see each other's changes in real time, no matter where they are physically. Now, even though this particular group chose to use Word for their online assignment, other tools like Excel and PowerPoint also have those co-authoring capabilities. As I continue to scan through this particular document, I see that they're missing one key cultural aspect of government. Now, I can go back to the conversation thread and provide feedback with an @mention. Once I do that, every student instantly receives notification, and now they have the confidence and information they need to keep moving forward. But the rich, persistent conversation experience in Teams takes classroom collaboration to a whole new level. This group, for instance, is on a video call. Everyone knows that in today's busy world, it's often challenging to get students together in one place. Although they seem to message each other all the time, sometimes that face-to-face interaction is absolutely necessary.
Hello.
Hey, guys. I love how naturally the students can now work together with Microsoft Teams. And if you will, I'd like to share with you just one more thing today. Because we're also using OneNote, students can even review concepts that were previously taught. So you see here, I posted a map that I used to teach a lesson in class. So if a student is absent, they can just go back, hit play, and the steps that I took while teaching the lesson are instantly revealed to them. It's metacognition. And that's some teacher talk for ensuring that the students understand the process of getting to the answer. My greatest gratification is when students are achieving their learning goals and acquiring those life skills. But what really hits home is how I can redefine what a classroom means for my teachers and students. Office 365 for Education, now with Microsoft Teams, brings in resources from around the world, providing the students with anytime, anywhere access to the skills that I know that they will need to be successful in their future.
So Anthony just shared how Microsoft is helping redefine classroom collaboration. These new classroom experiences for Teams are available today in private preview and will launch worldwide this summer. Thank you so much, Anthony, for sharing how you use Office 365 in your classroom. You're an amazing principal and an inspiration.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we just talked about engaging students as part of the modern collaborative classroom. Another way teachers are sparking their students' creativity is by learning by doing. And at Microsoft, we've been running pop-up STEM classrooms for the past year with thousands of educators around the world. We've built standards-aligned STEM lesson plans that are targeted to middle school students and are available to download for free. These STEM projects use everyday objects like paper cups, straws, and string to make sure that learning is affordable and accessible to everyone. For example, this sensorized glove project has students use copper tape, Velostat, and cardboard to make a flex sensor for a quarter, 25 cents. And after completing this sensor, students can control a robotic finger made from a straw and stream live data into Excel that measures the flexion and extension of their finger. How cool is that? By mastering these skills, students can use their imagination and creativity to make something of their own, driven simply by their passion, like this dragon designed by students from Rose Hill Middle School. Building on our experience with the National PTA, today we're excited to announce that starting this Saturday for the month of May, we'll bring these pop-up STEM classroom experiences to the Microsoft stores across the country. And this summer, we'll host STEM summer camp programs at select Microsoft stores. So this was just one example of how students can bring their creativity into the classroom. And now, let's explore how learning by doing sparks creativity in the virtual world of Minecraft. So please join me in welcoming Deirdre to talk about it.
Hello. I know some of you remember the very first video game you finished. Mine was Super Mario Brothers. I was 11, but I can still hear that music and feel the controller in my hands. My best friend and I played every day after school for months, learning how to defeat each enemy, memorizing the timing, and how to solve each puzzle. We basically created a study guide from what we were learning so that we could solve the last level. And what I can see now is that we were learning as we played. Now I think about this experience when I see students and educators using Minecraft in schools. Minecraft is already transforming how people teach and learn. Minecraft has over 100 million players worldwide, and today, just a few months after launching, schools in over 100 countries are using Minecraft Education Edition. Teachers have created hundreds of lesson plans to show the potential for Minecraft in any lesson. In fact, one of the very first lessons shared with us was from a teacher named Simon in the UK. He was using Minecraft with his middle school students. He asked them to create a Mars habitat in Minecraft. The students got started right away, planning what humans would need to survive on Mars. And like Matt Damon's character in The Martian, solving the problem of how to grow food in a Martian landscape and using math to manage their resources. When I visit classrooms like Simon's, I see players debating, negotiating, and working together. Educators like Simon are amazed and encouraged by the level of student engagement when they use Minecraft and how it opens up creative exploration across the curriculum. So, how can Minecraft make a difference with computer science education? I first learned coding when I was 9, and later was one of just 2 girls in my AP computer science class in high school. 25 years later, the way that we teach coding has barely changed, and women make up less than 20% of professional software engineers. Now, efforts like Code.org's Hour of Code and the USCSL initiative have made huge strides breaking down the barriers and showing the power of computing to solve problems. And games are playing an important role too. The Minecraft Hour of Code tutorials on Code.org have passed over 50 million play sessions with students and educators around the world. So it makes sense that one of the top requests that my team hears is a growing urgency from educators and from school leaders to inject technology into their curriculum, specifically computer science and coding. So that's why today I'm proud to announce Code Builder for Minecraft Education Edition. Code Builder is a new Minecraft extension that lets players build, move around, and create in Minecraft by writing code. Let me show you how it works. You're going to write code today to search for water on Mars. Let's start with the Mars exploration world from Simon's class. We're going to enter right into the world, and you can see the habitat they built and their interpretation of a Martian landscape. Once we go inside Minecraft, you can start Code Builder just by typing /code. With that, you can connect to popular Learn-to-Code packages like Tinker and ScratchX from MIT, or you can even add your own service. Today, you're going to use Tinker, which has custom blocks and commands that are connected to Minecraft. Now, back in Minecraft, you're going to see your agent or sidekick appears to execute the code that you write. Students really love the agent. It's a great way for them to get started and make that experience even more personal. In Tinker, you drag and drop blocks of code to create a tunnel program that moves the agent and digs down to discover what's beneath the surface. In this example, we're going to use the agent to dig a tunnel outside so that we're safe from the elements on Mars. But Minecraft players out there can imagine dozens of uses for programming the agent, like mining all night or building a lit path to your farm while you work on your house. So here, the agent's gone to work running code, digging down and identifying the resources that are underground. If you're more experienced, you can even switch from blocks to JavaScript and run code without the agent to go even faster. Using Code Builder, students will be able to create some really cool stuff. And like my own experience with Super Mario Brothers, they'll be learning as they play. Let's hear from someone who's seen this firsthand. A high school STEM teacher who runs a girls' coding workshop was recently selected as a PBS Digital Innovator and has been working with her students with Code Builder and Minecraft for the past few months. Please join me in welcoming Melissa Renchi. Hi, Melissa. Hi. So, tell us about your experience with Minecraft and Code Builder.
You know what's cool is I'm working on a project with my language arts teacher. She wanted a better simulation tool than she had before. She wanted her students to actually get in and build it. So here you're looking at Shakespeare's time, you're looking at the Globe Theater. So most people can look at a simulation, but instead what we're going to do is have students actually build the Globe Theater. and set the stage for this. So you have your balconies here, you have the groundlings area. So what we'll have happen is students are going to actually be building currently the Globe Theater itself. You're also going to set the stage with what this place looked like. So there's going to be some houses that are going to be built for the patrons, because those were typically nicer. And then you're also going to have the code builder is going to build the homes for the people that they were called the groundlings. So you're setting that stage for what it was like in Shakespeare's time. There's more examples here. So for instance, here, you're watching the agent is actually 3D printing a windmill. You see the finished project here, but here it is checking X, Y, and Z coordinates for building that automatically. And then finally, we'll go to our last example here. There's your two agents that Deirdre talked about earlier, and the two agents are building, in this case, the Parthenon. So imagine what you have here is a column. There's 70 columns that are needing to be built for the Parthenon. So what you can do here is actually have the agent create one column and then use a loop to actually build the rest of the columns. So it's a perfect example of using algorithmic thinking.
Thank you so much for sharing those examples. Does anyone ever ask you how you can use Minecraft in your classroom?
I do. I get that a lot. But I would always point them to our Minecraft mentors. They do a great job of writing resources that they've been using, lesson plans, there's the website to go to, and things that have been successful for them. They're really helpful with a lot of questions. And the last piece I would point out to you is that computational thinking piece we talk about. It's computer science, and this code builder does a great job of teaching those concepts.
Great. Thank you so much for being here and sharing those examples from your class, Melissa.
Thanks.
When I look at those examples, what these students are creating, and I think about my own experience developing some pretty great problem solving and study skills in Super Mario Brothers, and I look at my two daughters today, I feel a real sense of urgency to put these tools in the hands of educators and students. From the 50 million hour of code sessions and the examples from Simon and Melissa, we know it's engaging, we know it's working, and we know it's reaching both boys and girls. How cool is it that my daughters could build and fly through the Parthenon or program a virtual 3D printer in Minecraft? And how different from the way coding's been taught for more than 25 years. I know that with tools like this, we can inspire the next generation of creators, leaders, and innovators. Starting today, you can give Code Builder a try with a free trial of Minecraft Education Edition and the brand new beta of Code Builder, both available for schools right now at education.minecraft.net. Next, I'm going to introduce Megan, who will talk more about the potential for 3D and mixed reality in education. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Megan Saunders, and I lead our initiative around 3D for everyone at Microsoft. And I'm so excited to talk to you today about the magic of 3D, mixed reality, and education. Now, as humans, we learn from the real world around us. We learn by reading, by experiencing things firsthand, and by doing. It's part of who we are. But today, we not only learn from the real world, we also have created new ways to learn with technology. We can see kids create in rich 3D worlds like Minecraft. There, they can bring their ideas to life, and they can creatively explore and problem solve right in the moment. So how do we bring the benefit of our real world and this digital world together? We call this mixed reality, and mixed reality begins with 3D content. Now, research tells us that 3D improves attention span, engagement, motivation, and overall academic performance. And my personal favorite? Girls enroll in math and science classes at a much higher rate after taking a course in 3D. So today, we're going to show you a number of demos that highlight some of the benefits of 3D in and out of the classroom. Now, schools have different access to different resources, so we're going to show you a wide range of tools that educators can use. So I'm very excited now to introduce you to Amy from our development team, who is going to help us on this next set of demos.
Megan. Let's get started in Microsoft Teams. Here, students have a new assignment around little-known space facts. And there are a lot of questions around when eclipses happen, so I'm going to use Paint 3D and PowerPoint to bring the idea of eclipses to life. Paint 3D is free in Windows 10 and is one of the easiest ways to create in 3D. Here, teachers can create classroom boards and stock them full of models for their students to use in their projects. Now I'm going to build the solar system, so the first thing I need is the sun. Drop it in. Then I'll go back to the board and add the Earth and the Moon. Just scale them down. Now let's make our sun a little more realistic. Here in the Stickers tab, I can add any 2D image from my PC and create a custom sticker, just like a texture. I've already added this lava sticker, and we'll go ahead and place it on the sun. Stick it on. Nice. Okay, now we just need to line everything up. So I'll grab the Earth and the Moon, move them into position, and because we're working in 3D, I can move back and forth in space. Great. So the Moon travels around the Earth every 29 days, and based on this top-down view, you'd think that we would have eclipses every month. But as soon as we change our perspective, you can see that the Moon's orbit is actually tilted, so it's not causing an eclipse. Now that we've used Paint 3D to see why we don't have eclipses every month, let's finish this project in PowerPoint and see when they do happen. Coming this fall, adding 3D models to your slides in PowerPoint will be as easy as adding a 2D image. All you'll do is go to Insert, 3D Models, grab the model we just finished in Paint 3D, and drop it in. Now, I'm not an animator by any means, but PowerPoint will actually animate my 3D objects for me. All I'll do is duplicate the slide, select the model, rotate it to show the tilt, just about there, and then go to Transitions and apply the Morph transition. Nice. Okay. I finished the entire presentation earlier, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. Here we go. Because of the Moon's orbital tilt, we don't have eclipses every month. But let's fast forward 3 months. Now, the Moon's orbit will align with the Sun and the Earth to block the sunlight and cause a total solar eclipse. The next time this is going to happen is on August 21st, when an eclipse will travel across the United States from the west to the east coast. Thank you.
That was a great presentation, Amy. So we just saw how Amy could simplify a complex learning point using 3D with Paint 3D and Office. Let's extend on that concept. The class is working on another project around the Curiosity rover, and the teacher has just loaded a model of the Curiosity from NASA's website to Microsoft Teams.
I've actually already downloaded the model, and I've got it open over here. Now, most people think that the Curiosity is about the size of a small lawnmower. In this view, I can spin it around, see it from a couple different angles, but I can't really get a sense of its size.
Now, Amy is showing us how we can see 3D content in our screen, but I'm excited to announce a new feature coming to Windows 10 this fall that allows you to view 3D content through your screen, kind of like a magic window. We call this new feature View Mixed Reality. Now, this feature is not only available in what Amy is showing today, but it's going to be available in a wide range of experiences. Okay, so Amy, I'm 5'11". How big is the Curiosity?
Let's find out. If you could head towards the back of the stage.
Okay.
I'm going to drop the rover right next to you.
Like about here?
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Yep.
Nice. Let's capture this. Yeah. At 7 feet tall and nearly 2,000 pounds, it's pretty unbelievable that we've landed this on Mars.
With View Mixed Reality, we can bring this rover that was over 250 million miles away right into the classroom, giving us this unique perspective to understand the Curiosity's scale and size in the relation to the world around us, in this case, me. Now, here's the good news. All of this can be done on any classroom Windows 10 PC that just has a simple RGB camera. Even a plugged-in webcam will work, and it's free. So we just saw some examples of how we could simplify the complex using mixed reality, but let's pivot and see how we can learn through experience. Now, field trips are a great way to enable experiential learning, but not all schools can offer as many field trips as they would like. But with Windows mixed reality devices, we can bring those field trips right into the classroom. Now, Amy's going to be using one of these new affordable headsets to take us on a trip into the future, far, far away. Guess where we're going? Yep, we're going to explore space.
I'm looking at the solar system in a way that used to be impossible. In textbooks, the 8 planets are usually shown in a straight line. But in this immersive view, I can actually move around and get a sense for how they're spread across space.
Now, these types of applications can be really rich for self-guided learning. Not only can Amy explore our solar system, but she can travel through time. And into this case, into the future, where the year is 2492. Now, this will be the next time that the 8 major planets are in closest proximity to one another. The last time this happened was about 1,000 years ago.
Zooming in, I can see how the planets will look when they're grouped closer together 500 years from now. What a cool way to learn about space.
It's this type of immersive education that can enable any student to explore the world or even the galaxy without even leaving the classroom. Thank you, Amy.
Thanks, Megan.
We are so excited about the opportunity for 3D and mixed reality in learning, and we're not the only ones. Pearson, one of the largest education companies in the world, has just begun to integrate 3D and mixed reality into their secondary and university level curriculum. They're going to be offering courses in commerce, history, health, and STEM. So in the school year 2018, any student can take any one of these courses on any Windows mixed reality device. Yes, it's good. Wow, I heard a wow. It's great. Because this is the future of learning. So let's take a look at that future curriculum with Microsoft HoloLens.
I was tired of preparing kids for yesterday. We were always preparing kids for this world that didn't really exist anymore and that wasn't going to exist when they graduated. And I wanted to get my kids to the point where they could actually build the future.
We've seen a fundamental shift already in how a lot of educational resources are being delivered. We've seen a shift from print books through to ebooks. And I think the next evolution of that is from books to mixed reality.
As I started preparing my lectures and thinking how I'm going to communicate this to the students, one thing I wished is I had a 3D chalkboard.
You actually have all these tools that allow students to generate content for other students, which means that you could have students that are subject matter experts informing the development of experiences to help teach content that they're learning about in their other classes. And that's just amazing.
With the HoloLens, our idea for an app was if you didn't have access to all different instruments, you could learn them. I feel like being able to interact with something is what makes you remember it more.
I'm a visual learner. I'm someone who learns by experience as opposed to just reading it out of a book. And so having the HoloLens put that visual in front of you makes things much easier.
We could use mixed reality for agriculture,
science classes,
geography.
Math would be a big one.
It provides a much more engaging experience for students, and that's the ultimate goal for a teacher, is to engage the students and have them learning.
From 3D in your screen to the world is your screen, mixed reality is the future, and it's available today. We have a wide range of tools for educators that they can use to create curriculums for their students and peers, from Paint 3D and Office to View Mixed Reality to those immersive Windows mixed reality headsets coming this holiday starting at $299. With 3D and mixed reality in Windows 10, any student can simplify the complex, can creatively learn through experience, and can gain new understandings by bridging their digital and physical worlds. Creativity leads to learning, learning leads to innovation and the future. Thank you.
Our aim is to unleash the creative potential of hundreds of millions of next-generation creators, whether they paint by colors or numbers, sculpt in 3D or code, design new worlds or buildings, compose symphonies of music or science, create ideas or possibilities. However they choose to create, we are building Microsoft Education for each of them. We want Windows 10, Office 365, Minecraft, and mixed reality to be the place for creators in the classroom to create, learn, and play. But our commitment to education goes further. We focused so far today on how we seek to inspire students from kindergarten through to 12th grade. But Windows 10 will also be great for higher education students. And when I think about the right device for them, only one thing comes to mind. The most soulful expression of Windows needs to run on the most soulful expression of a Windows device. Please welcome Panos.
So cool. What a day, right? It's been crazy. It's so incredible. This day of learning, it brings us inspiration when you think about teachers and students and how that all comes together. For me, in planning this event, it pushed me very hard to think, hey, what are those moments? What are those most impactful moments in my life? Those moments where I was learning most or where the teachings were coming to life. And it really, really pulled me back. It pulled me all the way back to the teaching I would get from my dad, which was such an important part of my life. Now check this out. That's my dad. Hopefully you look at this picture and you go, hey, that's his dad, right? I look at the picture and I go, look at my blue leisure suit because it's pretty hot. And then I wonder why they continuously dressed my brother and I the same way. That happened for years and it was awful. Anyway, so now that I'm done with my therapy. My dad was an engineer. He was a hardware engineer. He was a guy that he wanted to put things together with his hands. He wanted to take them apart. He wanted to learn how they worked. And that was a big deal. And when I was growing up, my dad and I shared a room. It was my bedroom and it was his office. And that was special to me. That was special for many years of my life because his desk was in my room. And my mom would put me to bed at night, and that was awesome, and I'd pretend I was asleep, and I'd lay there. And maybe 30 minutes or an hour later, my dad would come in. He was relentless. He'd come in every night, and he'd go to work. And I would creep out of bed, and I would go sit next to him. And he let that happen. I don't think we ever told my mom, because I'm like, hey, Dad, do we have a picture? And he's like, no, we never told your mom. And those were the moments that you can pull all the way back to from a learning standpoint. He used to teach me. We would hand-build TVs together, and he would teach me. I was 6, 7, 8, 9. It took us a long time, but he would talk about every single detail and how it mattered. And that if you got it wrong, you had to do it again. And you had to do it again, and then again. But it mattered that you didn't miss anything. Because if you put everything you had into this product, then you were going to get everything that you wanted out of it. And he would say it. He'd say it to me. When we watch this TV, Bono, you're going to love this TV better than any other one. Because I'd ask, Dad, why don't we just buy a TV? If I only knew what he was teaching me back then. Because right now, I'm reminded of that exact same feeling in the work we do in Surface and in Windows and now across Microsoft. This is a culture driven by passion, like real passion. That same passion my dad had in teaching me how to put a TV together. It's a culture driven by iteration. And it's also a culture driven by learning. And the best thing about making a product every day with a team is this. I'm surrounded by some of the best product makers on the planet. The best. But they put their heart and soul into every single detail. It doesn't matter if it's the tiniest hinge or the creation of an entire category. Their heart and soul goes into it. It doesn't matter if it's the bit that we align to the pixel on the screen. And it turns out, the more you look at it, you start to realize it's not actually all these little details and parts that make these devices great. But it's all the passion that the people making these products put into them that make them great. It's that same passion we want you to feel when you're using our products. That same energy that resonated with me when I watched TV with my dad. And that can be true. It's actually true for our entire Surface family. If you haven't picked up a Pro, you should. And there's many of you using them, and I'm super pumped about that, by the way, because I can't remember the last time that happened. Thank goodness. If you haven't used a book, you should take the top off, reverse it, fold it down, take the pen out, and create. Let your energy come into that. Push the GPU. If you haven't seen, touched, or felt a studio, you have to. Put your hands on it, pull it towards you, immerse yourself into it. Hey, Sue, you have done an amazing job today. Has she been amazing? Your work is inspiring, and you make that studio look absolutely beautiful. I love that. I mean, you bring it to life the way it's meant to disappear, and your creations show up here. It is wonderful. And we are finding that people are using Surfaces just like that. Now, each one of these products have pushed the boundaries of innovation. They're products that help you create. They're products. They help you think. They help you do what you love doing most. That's true. They help you be more productive. But it's not the product. It's the product disappearing into the background, and it's the mind that gets to go into that product to create what needs to be created. Your musings, your learnings. Everything you think about comes together through this seamless dance of hardware and software. And in essence, every one of these products, they're made for creators. And we've said this, don't be confused. You may be a creator of a spreadsheet, or a symphony, or a novel, or a drawing. But what about the student? What do they create? Can you imagine? They are creators of their entrance essays, the thing that impacts the next 4 years of their magical lives. Should the technology be in their way? And today is all about students, isn't it? And for Surface specifically, this is where we wanted to put our focus, into those next 4 years of a student's life, when they're just about to get out of high school, when they don't even know what their major is. We wanted to bring them a product that they could have so much confidence in, they didn't have to worry about it. Now, we know today, many students use Surface Pro, and we love that. It's cool. And a lot of them use Book because they do need that DGPU in it, and they push it. But they're asking for more. They're clearly asking for more. And we talk to a lot of them. We love them. There's some students here, and we love you. They're asking for a laptop, right? They're asking for a Surface laptop. Cool. They want a bit of a choice. They want a product that's going to continue to empower them and remove every limit. Have you watched a student lately? Have you seen what they can accomplish? Have you seen what they can do? Just watch. Their minds, their hands, they move so fast. They come out of school, they come into Microsoft, they run circles around me. Circles. I'm almost embarrassed sometimes how fast they're moving compared to me. It is extraordinary. They create fast. They think fast. Nothing should stop them. Nothing should get in their way. There should be no technology that stands in front of them. And isn't that what Surface is? Isn't it? The technology that disappears to the background. So to give that perfect laptop, to marry the hardware and software together, the team across Windows and Surface and Office had to look at everything. From the materials to the science to the architecture, every bit of our experience in making products had to come to life, and we had to re-examine the entire laptop market and then push those same boundaries of innovation you see pushed in the other Surface products into this product. We had to breathe into this product some life that really started to change this category and continue to move it forward. So we built a laptop. And it's beautiful. But it's beautiful because it's personal. It's personal because it's meant to be a reflection of who you are. It brings you that security and superior performance that Terry talked about. And probably most important, it's going to last you. And it's going to last that student from the day they walk into their orientation to the day they walk across the stage for their graduation. I think this is the one you're going to want. This is a Surface laptop.
I've got chills, they're multiplying, and I'm losing control, 'cause the power you're supplying is electrifying. You better shape up, 'cause I need a friend, and my heart is set on you. You better shape up. You better understand. To my heart I must be true. You're the one that I want, the one that I want, yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You're the one that I want, the one that I want, oh yes indeed. You're the one that I want, the one that I want. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Cool. Cool. I mean, isn't it? It's simply gorgeous. I'm telling you, it's just gorgeous. It's such a gorgeous product. This product is so meticulously crafted. When I talk about the details of putting a TV together with my dad, this is unreal what this does. Every single part of this product, every detail thought through, every single detail. When you look at this product and you put it in your hands, you're going to find no reference to how any of these parts have come together in the product. You won't find a screw. You won't find anything that leaves a parting line across the device. You see perfect lines, a perfect flow of energy. When you pull it apart and open it seamlessly, you see a tone and tone balance in the colors. In product making, we have a thing called the first read. We talk about it in our design labs all the time. What's the first read on the product? How does it feel? It's meant to be silent to the eyes. That's critical. When you look at it, does it feel good? Does it draw you in? What does it mean? Why? How do we get people into their flow? How do we get them moving? It really is a product that draws you in. It's one of these products where you have to feel it to understand it. And so we'll do that. Can I show you this device? I want to talk about the way we made it with you, if that's cool. Am I embarrassing you right now? I probably am. I mean, you have lovely equipment. I don't want to hurt it. You don't have to move. Stay right there. Stay right there. No, totally cool. You do have to move, though, so scoot in a little bit. All right, cool. All right. This is the Surface laptop, and this is burgundy. You're wearing burgundy. I am wearing burgundy. I think we didn't plan this, did we? That's pretty cool. I want you to see it. I want you to feel it. I want you to kind of get the essence of this product. When you think of what we're trying to do with the laptop and where we want to push things, we want to push things a little bit further. We want to move from things that are feeling like machines, and we want to move to something that's more personal, something that's just more personal to you. Keep it for the show. Show it to whoever you want. But I think, do you like it?
I like it.
If you take a look, we've designed the product in 4 gorgeous colors: burgundy, graphite gold, platinum, and cobalt blue. All beautifully inspired through different elements in nature to bring it to life. And the idea of making something more personal and bringing it to you was critical in this product. Now, when you hold this product, it feels amazingly thin and light, which is really important when it comes to a laptop like this. It's 2.76 pounds. It's under 14.5 millimeters. And with one finger, you can open the screen, which is super cool, but it's very elegant in the sense that I just open it smoothly just like that. And what you get is a 13.5-inch diagonal with a 3:2 aspect ratio. When you think of that aspect ratio in this diagonal, that's the productivity of a 14-inch laptop in your standard 16:9 format. So it's like a 14-inch laptop, but it feels and acts like a 13-inch size when it's in your bag. And here's great. When you close it, when you close this product, it feels so elegant. It's important. It's important that it sounds good when you close it, because when you're done with your thought and you close something, don't you want closure? Of course you do. Now, when you look at the products you're using right now, and there's a lot of them out there, you're going to find a rubber bumper around the screen. You're going to find either a piece of plastic around the screen. The reason that's there is because when you close these devices, you don't want to break the glass. I mean, that's pretty smart. But this elegant dance between these two parts come together so seamlessly in this product. And when I say at the first read you won't find any misplaced parts in every detailed matter, there's no rubber bumper, there's no plastic chin, there's no hinge that you can see. It's all part of the device that flows and fades to the background. The screen itself is 3.4 million pixels. 3.4 million pixels. It's that exact screen that you would expect from Surface. That high contrast, that color-calibrated screen, you know what it is. I do it every time. I'm not going to do it. You know what it is. At the end of the day, this is the thinnest LCD touch module ever created and put into a laptop, and that's how you get this form. That's the laptop. Of course, I'm low on time. I got to keep going. Okay. We could stay all day. That's an option. I want to show you the Surface Pen. I'm a huge fan of the pen. We talk about the pen all the time. Of course, the pen works on this screen. I want to show you a feature in Windows. If you haven't used it in the Creators Update, go give it a shot. Take a video, get your pen, put it to the screen, and bring this feature to life. I'm going to show you the craftsmanship video that you'll find in my blog later today. It's about 2 minutes long. This is a 30-second cut of that, just to bring it to life. And what you can do with something. So if students, if you will, they're making a lot of videos these days. Even my elementary school girls right now are doing it. My high school son and daughter, they're also making videos. Either they're doing book reports, or they're telling stories, or they're creating. This has happened. That didn't happen in my time, but it is happening now. In the world of video creating, for us, when the last video you saw, we spend a lot of time on every detail and every second of every frame. In this case, what I'm going to show you is how simple communication can change with the power of the pen, and then the emotion that can come in with it. I'm going to hit play. Watch how this video will play. As it's playing, I'll put my pen to the screen to send the note to a team. And notice what happens. And we talk about this a lot. The power of the pen. Don't underestimate it. The emotion that comes with writing. The cognitive recall that comes with writing. But in this case, I'm just sending a message to the team that says, it is awesome. The seam here that you cannot see is awesome. Where the fabric and the aluminum come together is perfect, and I want them to feel that. So I'm going to send this back to the team, if you will, right now. And so I'll rewind it. I'm going to play it. I want you to enjoy these 30 seconds, so I'm going to get out of your way. But then I want you to see how the ink makes its way back in that such a human form where you can collect that emotion because it's the ink and my soul that ends up on that screen that you get to feel because I wrote it with the exclamation points and with my handwriting. You also can kind of figure that out. If I was mad, it looks very similar. Okay, take a look at this.
We try to put every good ingredient we learned from the past into Surface Laptop, like the fabric customized for each keyboard. When you open, you only see a piece of glass and piece of fabric, and then keyboard. You don't really see the mechanical hinge. That's the pureness.
There is no compromise in what we do in manufacturing. We're suddenly bringing metal and plastic keys and fabric together. Our manufacturing engineers are driven to invent processes to make sure that ultimately you're getting this full Surface experience.
Now you saw when I use the pen, you should see no lag, you should see no latency, and the pen is really coming to life. The performance on this device is absolutely amazing. Think about Windows 10S for just a minute, because it's so important. You get this unbelievably streamlined performance that lasts, and you get this product that starts up unbelievably quickly, and let's just talk about that for just a second. When I opened the screen earlier, you saw me open it with one finger, and the screen was just there and turned on. And when I'm closing this screen with its elegant close, I'm shutting down this computer, I'm putting it into sleep. And then I want this product, and what Windows 10 has done with the engineering team alongside the Surface team is every single detail had to come to life because we cannot have students waiting for their products. If you're a student and you're in a lecture, you need to capture a note. You have to open your product and move. We're used to this generation where you just hit a button and your device is ready for you. The technology you have is there. Instant On is critical. It is part of our lives. It should be celebrated. But actually, the celebration of Instant On is because you can capture your thought. You can capture the moment. You can capture your creation. And so that's what we brought to life in this product. That performance that's coming right now where it's just there. And if you're using Windows Hello, this product will log you in and you're moving. You're going right in. That's so important. Now, this product comes with the latest Core i5 and Core i7 Intel processors. It has up to 1 terabyte if you choose PCIe SSD, and that is integrated directly onto the motherboard, which in essence lowers the power consumption and maximizes the performance on this device. No one has ever integrated a PCIe SSD that way ever before, and it results in this engineering effort that gets you to 14.5 hours of battery life on this product. 14.5. This isn't about taking your charger and pulling it out of your bag in between classes. This is where we want to change the game. Charge your device, leave your charger home, and go to school. And then go to the library. And then come home and binge watch Netflix. And then cram a little. And then charge it. That's so important. But just as important as designing the battery life when a device is on is designing the battery life when the device is off. I know that sounds kind of funny, but the truth is some of that promise of Windows 10S and Surface is just that. When you close the lid and you leave for spring break and you forgot to put the charge on, don't worry. When you get back, if you're disheveled a little bit and you're rushing to class, pick it up, open it, and you will be right where you left off. That exact same battery where you close the lid will be back when you come from spring break and ready for you to go. Isn't that awesome? It's just cool. Now let me put this device in a little bit of more context so you get a little more of that. In the history of laptops, and designing a laptop, there has always been something that had to give. Whether it's the weight, whether it's the battery life, whether it's the performance, whether it's the thinness, whether it's the key switch, the travel, how it feels under your hands. Everything was working against each other. If you want to push more pixels onto a screen like this, you probably need more battery life and a little bit more performance. If you need more battery life, you likely need a bigger battery. If you need a bigger battery, you likely need a thicker device. If you need a thicker device, it's likely getting heavier. And then reverse that, or put it in any order. These are conflicting goals. This is the first product that brings that all together. The team talked about making the Surface Laptop and used the word balance. And when we create products, we talk about it. What is the one thing on this product? And it was It was balance. We needed to bring a perfectly balanced product, a product that had never been brought together like this before. And a way to kind of put it in context is let's just talk about other laptops because it frames it. Now, a lot of students use MacBook Airs and MacBook Pros, and we know that, and those are awesome products. I mean, they are awesome products. The Surface Laptop itself is lighter and thinner than any MacBook Air or MacBook Pro on the market right now. It's 50% faster than the MacBook Air, and when you compare the Core i7 Surface Laptop to the Core i7 13.3-inch MacBook Pro, the Surface Laptop is faster. And all that comes to this moment. We have more battery life in this product than any MacBook on market today. Put all that together, and that's the Surface Laptop. We're really proud of the team, really proud of the team. This is the laptop that starts to reset the category. I mean, it is the most balanced laptop you will ever find. Now, how did we do it? It's worth talking about because the innovations on this product are hard to see. The beauty, easy to see and feel. The innovation, hard to see because it's disappeared. We had to push this product to its peak performance while keeping the device as thin and light as possible. Our thermal design allows this front edge of the product to stay under 10 millimeters. That was critical, because if we're going to bring something beautiful to you, keep all that performance in it, we couldn't start trading off any of the form of this product. We want students to be proud when they pull it out of their bag, and they want to feel proud when they do that. We integrated vapor chambers shaped as heat pipes directly into the aluminum backing, right underneath here. Now, I have to tell you this because my team back in Redmond right now is like, please just tell them. I'm like, you're never going to see this, but I'm still going to tell you. Right under the processor, these pipes run, and basically it makes the bottom aluminum bucket 3 different parts in one. It's functional, it's structural, and it brings that cosmetic perfection all at the same time. That's not been done before. It allows us to pack everything we need in here and still give you the weight and battery life and thickness that you wanted, and then we knew how much beauty mattered and we weren't going to compromise it. Then we talked about this being a product I want you to be proud of when you pull out of your bag. We overlaid Alcantara fabric onto the top of the keyboard. This is a product imported from Italy. It's premium, it's durable, it stands the test of time. But it also allowed us to laser etch, after we optically aligned each single key on the product, to leave no lines on the product at all, and to let no light leakage come out. So when you are cramming late at night, like I did for this presentation, you get the perfect light. You get the perfect light when you put your hands down. But it also allows us a full 1.5 millimeter travel on the keyboard. It is buttery smooth, buttery smooth. When you put your hands on this thing and type, you feel so good. And why does that matter? Because when you're in the flow, because when we have a student immersed, because when you are writing that entrance essay, this technology must get out of your way. It must. And it has to work seamlessly. And so when you put this thing on your hands on top of this keyboard, it feels warm. Doesn't feel cold. It invites you in. It invites you in. Now the fabric has just a bit more than just form. It has some amazing function. If you look at this product, you'll see no speaker grills, you'll see no speaker holes, and it gives that perfect look when we talk about that first read and how soft. We were able to invent a technology to integrate the speakers underneath the keyboard, use the fabric to push the sound through, and then push it out the keys to point it right at you as you're creating. It's incredible. That's insane, right? I know, it's crazy. And now the sound's coming at you while you're working. So if you're editing that video and you want to be immersed and you want the sound and the visuals to come together, as creators know, which are so important, this is the product that brings that to life. Now I want to share with you a little bit about Microsoft Office and Surface and Windows coming together. Office, my favorite product on the planet. I use it every day, Word especially, and I want to show you how the dial integrates into the Surface laptop really quick and give you some function of the product. Let me give you my setup really quick. This is the Surface laptop. I'm using the Surface docking station. This product has all the ports you need, and I'm sure the ports you're going to want. But here, we're connected with a Surface docking station. So if you're not a student, let's just say you're a professional, you already have a Surface and a docking station. It works seamlessly together. This is a great product if you're taking it home or for work. But in the sense of students, this is the Word document. We know students love Word. We know they use it. We know they create. I create in Word and read in Word. But watch as I move the dial with my hand. What you'll find is we're going to integrate the smoothness of this dial to the product itself, which was an important element. So as I move left and I move right, you see that integration of the UI of Office, and this is that design that's so important between Office and Surface to get perfect, because we want these things to flow seamlessly. And when we demoed this on Studio, you saw that same elegant piece. I want to show you one more application that brings this product to life. And it's a very cool app for sure. Before I do that, let's talk. Windows 10s, Office, and Surface. These are all products that were made for each other. But the key is they were actually made with each other. Every single document you will use on this will be protected and secured. Every single app you use is verified by Microsoft, which streamlines you for security and superior performance. And if you need an app that's not in the store, that's fine. You can just go and download Windows Pro and use any app you want. Now, that last application I want to talk about is probably the application that brings it together for me. Now, 3D for Medical is this company, an amazing company doing amazing work for students and teachers around the world. And they launched Complete Anatomy in our store just this year. And it really is the product that I get to show you today to highlight all the performance in this device, to show you how the dial, the pen, the touch, the vibrant screen all comes together in just a beautiful, elegant application. And all designed specifically for the Surface to come to life. I want to invite my good friend Edel out here from 3D for Medical, and she's going to show you a little bit more about this product. Edel, come on out. Have fun.
Thank you.
Have fun.
Hi, I'm Edel from 3D for Medical. When I studied neuroscience, all I had were flat 2D images in textbooks to study the anatomy of the human brain. I remember spending ages looking online, hoping to find a better visual resource. But it just didn't exist. At 3D for Medical, we have a vision, and that is to transform medical learning. I'm really excited to be part of this revolution and to show you how using Complete Anatomy on the new Surface laptop creates a totally new and immersive experience for students. On this screen, you'll see the human skeleton model in 3D. And the power of this laptop means that I can easily navigate the model without any lag. The textures and the anatomical accuracy can be displayed in immersive detail, no matter how far I zoom in. I love this product because it allows users to explore over 6,500 structures right at our fingertips. And as we are visual learners, simply scanning this model means that users retain more information than they would from a flat 2D image in a textbook. The Surface style allows me to interact with the model. For example, I can choose to fade surrounding structures. And now I can see where this complex bone sits in the middle of the skull. I can explode this region and see the relationship between anatomical structures. Using the dial, I can fully control the movement of these structures. You can't do this with a textbook. Now let's relate the anatomy to function, which students find very difficult to visualize. I can turn on the muscles and see what movement the muscles carry out. This is the actual model moving here in real time, and I can control this body movement using the dial. I am making the neck bend here using the dial, and I can view this motion at any angle. This is a whole new level of exploration, and it's not just applicable to anatomists. It's interesting for me as a sports enthusiast to see how the muscles work in the body. Using this 3D technology, users can completely immerse themselves in learning about the human body. But we can go even further and modify the actual 3D structures. Using the Surface Pen, I can cut through various layers and structures, such as the skin, the fat, muscles, bone, and even the meninges covering the brain. And now, I can identify different parts of the brain and study their related functions. I can also draw directly onto the model. Now, I will always remember that this part of the brain is associated with motor function because I have written it directly onto this cortex. And now I have an interactive screen that I have created in seconds. I can share what I have created via the cloud with my study group and friends. 3D4Medical's technology, together with the new Surface laptop, replaces the need for dozens of flat 2D textbooks, transforming medical learning by propelling a centuries-old way of studying anatomy into the 21st century. Thank you.
It's incredible, right? The way learning and students and teaching has evolved, it's absolutely amazing. Now you can pre-order your Surface laptop literally right now. Right now. The Core i5 is starting at $999. We're pretty excited about it. The product, I'm glad you are too. The product is available for you to either pick up or be delivered on June 15th, so it's coming pretty quick. Go ahead and get your hands on one. Now, learning isn't something that has a limit. I believe that. I believe it's an endless pursuit. We want students of any age. We want you to be committed. We want you to never, ever stop learning. You never have to. You don't have to stop getting better, and you always will if you push. Don't ever stop breaking new ground. And in Surface, we want to give students all the tools they need to enable them to continue learning. From the Surface Pro, to the book, to the studio, and now to the beautiful Surface laptop. At Microsoft, we have a mission, and it is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. It is so powerful to hear Satya say it. It is a mission that is the motivation for every single product we make. From Surface to Windows to Office to mixed reality to OneNote to Minecraft to Teams to every other detail you saw today. And it's about those details that these passionate product makers bring to you to allow you to put your passion where you want to push it. It's about creating products to empower the students of today to create the world of tomorrow. Thank you.
Every generation has the opportunity to inspire those that follow in their footsteps, to pass along the wisdom, knowledge, and experience needed to reach new heights. Microsoft is working to create a better learning environment for every student with modern tools that are intuitive,
This is the project.
collaborative,
That's actually good.
and accessible to all, so every student is empowered to achieve more. This is the modern classroom, where we go beyond memorization of facts and figures and a one-size-fits-all education, where students learn in the way they learn best, on the tools they will use in the future, where teachers create experiences that spark creativity, and everyone can collaborate anytime, anywhere. Microsoft Education, empowering the students of today to create the world of tomorrow.